Welcome to November. I'm Nancy Sawyer. I am here for Life Coach University's 365 PIF Talk. I'm the coach for November, which means every day, Monday through Friday in November, I'm going to be here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time to talk to you about midlife mastery. So the PIF Talk stands for Pay It Forward, and Life Coach University has an incredible mission. The mission is to coach millions more. So Pay It Forward means you don't pay for anything, everything is free. And all we ask is that you, in some way, pay it forward today in your day to someone else, whether it be buying a cup of coffee, giving someone a smile, sharing something you learned, whatever works for you. Doesn't cost you anything. So I'm so honored to be the coach of the month for November. I am just going to get my text set up here. I do have some notes I'm working from. I want to thank you for allowing me to show up authentically today. Hang on one sec while I just get this settled, okay? All righty. So I don't know if you're tuning in today while you're having coffee, getting ready for work, or maybe it's lunchtime where you are. Maybe it's super early in the morning or even in the evening. I welcome you. Thank you for joining me today. I am Nancy Sawyer. I'm a life coach who focuses on midlife mastery. I teach all about stuff that happens in midlife. There are things that tend to happen in midlife, whether it's experiencing a divorce, losing a parent, sometimes you become an empty nester. Sometimes you wake up and find your career is unfulfilling and you're asking yourself, what now, or what's next, or whatever happened to me and the things I wanted. So I help people to rebuild, reinvent, refocus their lives. I help them to rediscover their joy when they've been through difficult things. I help them process through grief and begin to heal after they've been through some challenges. I help them to figure out how they can thrive in the next chapter of their life. I also help them understand how they're uniquely wired so that they can give themselves what they need to thrive. The biggest thing I do is I teach people to become a student of themselves, so that they can become an even greater version of themselves. One of the biggest things as a coach that I think is important is for people to begin to ask questions, to get curious about who they are and how they interact with the world. That is in a nutshell, the simplest way to create your happiness and a fulfilling life is start paying attention to you. So let's dive into midlife mastery. For the next 22 days, not in a row, but for 22 days, every Monday through Friday in November, we are going to talk about concepts that I teach to my clients in my workshops and in my courses. I call my clients superstars because they show up for themselves every day, trying to be a better version of themselves. So just by showing up today, you're a superstar. So thank you for joining me. Learning and growing is something that's very admirable. When we want to grow as a person, that is something to be proud of. Not a lot of people are interested in that. So when we can become introspective and start thinking about how do I interact with the world and how can I do it in a better way, in a way that's healthier, in a way that helps myself and others. When we start to think about those things, that's very important, and that totally makes you a superstar. So thank you for joining me. So as we're here at day 1 of November, I am going to debunk the midlife crisis. But before we get there, I'm just going to share some thoughts with you. I don't know if you've seen my talks before in Life Coach University. If you have not, here's some things about me. I'm going to offer some suggestions I am going to share some knowledge, some things I have learned. I am going to ask you questions, and occasionally I'll give you some tough love as well. I want you to know that I'm offering thoughts, suggestions, tips. These are all offerings. You are not required to follow them. You're not required to answer them. You're not required to agree with them. Okay. My main goal here is to have you begin to question, begin to get curious. I want you to start questioning what you think you know. You see, we grow up and we have all these beliefs that we think we know, we agree with, we think we're right, and we are very strong in our convictions. But sometimes it's important to ask ourselves, is this really true? Or was this inserted by my upbringing somehow? So all I'm asking is for you to come with an open mind and to maybe question some of the things you think you know. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to kind of challenge you in that way. So I hope it's received well. So since this is day one, I also want to tell you a little bit about me. My personal philosophy is to come to everything with love and kindness. We can only control what we put out. We cannot control how others receive it. So my goal every day and with every interaction is to approach with love and kindness. It's something I live by. When I'm in a space such as this, I'm here with love and kindness for you. I'm here to make your life better and to give you a space to pause from the grind of day-to-day life. I'm so glad you showed up today. So let's talk about the midlife crisis. You've heard the term, yeah? It kind of gets a bad rap. There's lots of negative things associated with the term midlife crisis, right? I would like to reframe that phrase. I think it's actually a shift. You see, when we reach midlife, whether you could be 30 years old, you could be 60 years old. It could happen at any time, really, in between there. There's a shift. You see, we spend the first part of our life growing up, being taught how to act, how to behave. We're influenced by parents, the educational system, perhaps our religion, advertising, the movies we watch, the television we watch. It's all input, right? We're taking all this in, all this information. And then sometimes we hit midlife, right? At midlife, we've taken all this information in, we formed kind of who we are, right? But then we've also been through some things. We may have experienced some trauma. We may have had some challenges in life. All of these things affect us as well. As we go through these things, we get stronger. We learn more. We garner some wisdom that we have. My feeling about the midlife crisis is that it's actually a shift. We wake up one day and we say, is this all there is? There's got to be more. Has this ever happened to you? Do you ever think about that? You know, when we're raised in society, we're taught to pursue. We're taught to pursue a degree, an education, a job, our next promotion, to get married, to have the kids, to have the dog in the house and the car and all these things, okay? Our society raises us to pursue certain life achievements and certain material things. But the truth is, oftentimes those things don't fulfill us. They don't result in our happiness. It may result in a short-term happiness. Think of, you get a new car, you get all excited, yay, I got a new car. But after a few months, that kind of wears off, right? So that's not sustained happiness and fulfillment. And I think that as we become in midlife, Sometimes we look around, we have all the things, we've achieved certain things, and yet there's something missing. I don't call it a crisis. I think it's an invitation and an opportunity to step in to figuring out our purpose. What is our legacy? We have been through so much by this point in our life. We've learned a lot. We have a lot to share. We have so much wisdom to share with others. For me, that's actually why I became a coach. So I have been over the last decade through a divorce, through losing my mom, and I've reinvented myself through these challenges and really learned an awful lot about myself, about grief, about how to move forward in life when it gets really difficult. And now I know I have that gift to share with other people. So I want you to reflect on what gifts do you have to share with other people. If you're thinking that maybe things are missing, something's missing in your life, think about what it is. It's probably not a material thing. It might be something much deeper. So what is the legacy you want to leave? What are the gifts that you have now after all the experiences you've been through? I encourage you to begin thinking about this. What is it that you're seeking at this point in your life? Do you have all the accomplishments and the things that you were encouraged to have, that you've been encouraged to pursue? And are you still feeling like there's something missing? I want to tell you that to get to happiness and fulfillment, it is not a quick path, but you can do it. And the best way to start is to stop listening to everyone else and start listening to yourself. I invite you to take a pause. I know life gets so busy. We're very busy taking care of our careers, our homes, our children, our dogs, our spouse, whatever it may be. Maybe we volunteer, we're involved in lots of other activities, okay? We are often running around from daylight to late at night, doing everything for everybody else. I invite you to stop, take a pause, and think about yourself. Start listening to you. Get in tune with yourself. I want you to become an observer of yourself. What does make you happy? What makes you feel fulfilled? What are you proud of that you've accomplished? Where do you shine? In what spaces, what parts of your life do you just shine? Do you bring it and you're so happy and everyone notices how great you are at that? How can you help others? How can you serve? So if you're at the point of midlife where you think you're having a crisis, I invite you to reframe that. It might be a longing. It might be a need to serve others. It might be a need to step into a bigger purpose. How can your existence make a positive difference in our world? You see, you don't have to change the world, but you can change your world. You can change your life. You can change your little corner. And by the way, every person that you affect, when you go out today and you put a smile on someone else's face, that has a ripple effect. That may have them do something nice for someone else. You never know how far that ripple effect can travel. You can affect change for the people you love and care about. So if you hear the term midlife crisis, I want you to think about it for a minute. Is it really a crisis or is it a shift? Is it a longing for something more? How can you answer that longing? How can you fulfill it in a way that is healthy? And that has a great impact on others. I invite you to think about that today as you go about your day. So as we get ready to wind down here, I just want to talk to you about what the rest of this month is going to go like. So again, I'm the coach of the month for November. You're going to have me here every day, Monday through Friday at 8:30. We are going to talk about midlife situations. We're going to talk about grieving after divorce. We are going to talk about grieving after losing a parent. We are going to talk about reinventing yourself after going through something challenging. We're going to talk about how to manage being an empty nester. We're going to talk about self-care and how important it is for you, becoming an observer of self, how you can identify your triggers and respond to them, how you can manage all the stuff you've been through up to this point in your life and use that information to thrive for the next chapter of your life. I am going to post a schedule on my social media. On Instagram, I am Mama of Reinvention. And on Facebook, there's also a Mama of Reinvention page. I'm going to post the schedule for November of what the topic for each day is. So if there's a day that specifically interests you or resonates with you, I want you to make sure that you hop on that day. Please share this with your friends, share with your coworkers, with anyone that you run into today. Let them know that this is happening. Please go to lifecoachuniversity.com and take a look at what's on there. There are so many great coaches. There are lots of talks that are all free. You can learn many, many things that will help you to step into a better version of yourself. There are many great coaches on there. So I want you to take this into your day. I'm coming with love and kindness. I want you to bring that yourself into your day. And I want you to join me tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow for day 2. Have a great day.